Dear listener, have you ever wanted to learn about the mail? Why am I doing it this way?
The way you said that.
The mail.
The mail.
The mail. Mammalian. Only one of them is mammalian. But anyway, I'm Mork. My pronouns are they, he, and I don't know that much about the mail, but it's coming up today. So that's why I was like, yeah, let's go.
Hi, I'm Izzy. My pronouns are be respectful. And yeah, I think we're sickos in this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and tear off the Band-Aid and say M-A-I-L, to be clear.
Oh, yeah. I should have said that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's implied. I'm Dan.
No.
I'm Dan. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns.
Hi, Dan.
Yes, our guest Dan.
Uh-huh.
Well, to be fair, I didn't actually say mail, like, delivering mail.
You said the mail.
Yeah.
I did say the mail. It could be the alpha male. It could be the male specimen. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's mail like you're delivering.
Yeah.
Because of what Dan's characters that he's going to talk about today are associated with.
So, my characters are Ronnie and Gamble. They were my player characters in the second interstitial campaign that's been discussed on here.
The second fellowship campaign.
Did I just say... Oh my god, I meant to say fellowship. I've just been thinking, because I'm planning on an interstitial campaign that maybe you'll hear about in like 6 to 12 months.
The future.
Yes. In the year 2000.
Yeah, this is our second... I almost said it. Our second fellowship campaign.
Yeah.
Where Dan played as two fucking characters.
Yes. So...
GM said you get to play as two characters?
No skins.
Dan, your GM let you play as two characters?
Fellowship, both first and second edition, have a playbook called The Pair. The Pair lets you be two guys, and offers a variety of potential dynamics you can play with them. There's lovers, there's teacher and mentor, there's, veterans.
There's one where you can play as three guys.
Yeah, there's one where you can be three.
Two at a time, I guess, kind of, is how it works. I don't exactly know.
It's like, you do get, to play as three guys, but you can't, the thing that specifically where you get the advantage of, having two people, do a thing at the same time, you can still only do two with that. Anyways, The Pair, I am a longtime fan of, the, Fellowship RPG. I remember, listening to, a 1E playtest, that, was run many years ago, by the creator and, two people they knew. It might have been three, I don't remember. Anyways, the point is,
was that the 6 Feet Under
playtest of it? Actually, I'm not sure if it was on 6 Feet Under or not.
Okay.
It's definitely out there. It might be on the feed. It had I believe it had it had a guy who who is definitely not part of the 6 Feet Under crew, but I had known from Let's Plays and stuff. But
what I remember most clearly was Grant played a giant.
Oh, yeah.
If we're talking about the same one, which we might not.
Do you know the name Bobbin Threadbare?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was on that one shot, that playtest. But either way, I'm gonna look this up, but I'll keep talking. So
I was already on it.
Yeah, one of the playbooks I remember seeing was The Pair, and that's just like a playbook I've always wanted to try out. So, like, ever since I first heard of it, I wanted to play that. I've gone through different, like, concepts and thoughts. Usually two gay men. Sometimes they're burly, and they'll do what you want. But for now, I decided to go with two small guys, because something that was, like, introduced in, like, the broader Isoverse lore in, like, my first campaign was... I think this was loosely based on, like, a joke someone responded to, like, a joke I made many years ago about, like, what if dog kobolds and lizard kobolds existed in the same setting? They just considered themselves the quote-unquote true kobolds. That's less of a thing. This is definitively, there are kobolds, which are the lizards, and bokolds, which are the dogs. Shout outs to Dungeon Meshi for introducing more people to the concept of dog kobolds.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, I decided that's who these two characters are, Ronnie and Gamble. Ronnie is the bokold. He's a little dog. I decided Corgi he looks like a corgi. I'm pretty sure there are bokolds that look like other dogs, but he specifically looks like a corgi. This was specifically because, well, I was just trying to think of a dog, something small and fun, and then I, like, thought of, like, this thing someone, like, posted many, many years ago on, like, probably 1D4chan or something like that was just, like, here is a fantasy race. They're a little corgi man. They're called the Corgin. And I worked with that. I decided to go with Corgi for Ronnie. Gamble is, of course, the lizard kobold. Both... So, they are from two... I guess you could consider them rival tourist destinations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, rival is, like, putting it, like, very strongly.
One's beach, one's Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the beach town of Beachton, and there's Boss Vegas, which is Las Vegas, obviously, but, like, with magic in it.
And bosses.
Boo. Yeah, there was a big dragon that Xenuvar killed off screen.
Yeah. After the campaign ended.
Yeah, after the campaign ended. That's why it's off screen.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. It wasn't even worth their time to put it on screen.
Yeah.
Oh, just awful, man.
Yeah, he's like a shitty, he was like this sort of like kind of shitty evil businessman dude. His name was Boss Haas. I don't remember how exactly this happened, but we were like sketching out the map and someone wrote like the casino city of Boss Vegas or something to that effect, and then I got really excited and ran with it.
Boss.
Yeah.
It's funny that it's still called Boss Vegas even after Boss Hoss is fucking dead.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't take... Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that Boss Hoss was the gold dragon.
Yeah, he was the gold dragon. His thing was like accumulating wealth. Boss Vegas is the more lore-heavy one, so I'll go ahead and like go on about it. It is it's basically a big money hole. It is just like the real Las Vegas. People go there because they are enticed by how like exciting and bright and pretty it is, and you can do a lot of gambling and buy stuff and see shows. It's fucking Las Vegas. One very specific architectural detail is you don't come in through the desert, or the main entrance isn't through the desert surrounding it, because it's Las Vegas and there's a desert. Instead, there's like this river surrounded by like lush greenery that stands out against like the like harsh like desert environment. And you like come in on this river and you go, you gamble, you lose a lot of money, you leave.
Or you don't leave.
Or you don't leave. You could,
leave.
Depending on certain circumstances, and who's like in charge and what's going on, you could easily just end up in horrible debt or indentured servitude.
Rip.
Boss Haas's main thing is the wealth. The labor is secondary. And speaking of labor, Boss Haas is basically the only one of the few dragons who like makes kobolds, or more specifically, he makes a lot of kobolds. Technically, every dragon can do this, but most don't really bother beyond like what they like absolutely need. Like of like the old dragons of the first ESO campaign, I think like one or two of them had like stuff to like, they had like a couple if they like really needed someone to like do something in the waking world for them, or do something on the mortal plane.
I remember the Argent having them.
Yeah, the Argent had like a couple of them just to like keep things things maintained and keep him from like just like take care of him while he's asleep. But Boss Haas needs a labor force to run his casino city, so he makes the kobolds that most people in ESO know. Eventually, he dies, and there's sort of like a power vacuum. It is eventually filled by a lady named Lucky Nell, who I am literally just taking from the podcast Too Much Future, which is that was Michael Lutz's. Yeah, that's Michael Lutz's courier character in Too Much Future. Too Much Future is a show about the Fallout games. They talk about them. They play through them.
Oh, I haven't listened to that one. Okay.
Yeah. So, drawing from, like, the concepts Michael established about that character, Lucky Nell is, like, very, very fixated with luck. Like, supernaturally lucky, believes luck is, like, a sort of, like, the end-all, be-all of, like, determining fate and all that. So Lucky Nell basically gets to power by being really lucky and like getting a lot of money and power and all that, eventually getting to the top. And the thing is, she's less bad than Boss Haas because she will give you like a coin flip instead of just outright fucking you over. She will leave things up to fate. This doesn't mean she's not doing bad stuff, though. She still will put you in indentured servitude if she really wants or needs you to, especially if, like Gamble, one of our two heroes tonight, make a lot of money through cheating professionally.
SMH.
So, Gamble would have been like a little kid when the first campaign happened. He like grows up, he finds his way to get by to just be like cheating professionally in like professional gambling cheaters. cards, loaded dice, mirrors, all that. Eventually, he gets caught. And because he gets caught, he's got to run. He's got to get out of there. And wouldn't you know it, at some point in the past 20 years, first contact was made by the ISPS, the Interstellar Postal Service. So you can't get much further away from a place where people are trying to kill you than the depths of space. So he joins the ISPS. So that's the sort of a prelude to Gamble. Let's move on to Ronnie. So, Beachton, Boakholds. Beachton is it's just like sort of a chill resort town. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could introduce some more complicated details. It's not like perfect, but it's significantly less fucked. It also has
Margaritaville.
It has Margaritaville, with Jimmy Buffett. That's right. That James Buffett. I was gonna say the Lobster Man, but I don't think that's his title. The Parrot Head. The guy who makes the fun songs about beaches that have honestly kind of depressing. Some of them have pretty depressing lyrics. He's got Margaritaville, which is I don't remember how official this is. He holds power somehow, and he runs this restaurant, which may or may not have a Vatican interdependence situation.
Wait, Vatican. Wait, what? I don't know if I knew that part.
I'm not sure how hard canon it is.
I know that Jimmy Buffett was the dragon of geniality or something along those lines.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett became a dragon.
Without changing at all. He's still human-shaped.
Dragon,
he is a
parentheses,
dragon.
metaphorical, because that's a thing with dragon lore. You, the original dragons are all big lizard guys, but you don't have to be a big lizard guy to be a dragon. Sometimes you can just be a guy who's in the right place at the right time, and in doing so just sort of become powerful in a certain cosmic way. So I'm pretty sure Xenu technically counts as a dragon.
Oh,
I think
she absolutely does now.
Yeah.
She is this is after the second campaign, but yeah, she is just flat out the challenger now.
Shit, what was I just thinking about? Oh, right. I was gonna say.
Sorry, you said the word.
No, it's fair. I wanted you to elaborate a bit on your half of the dragon lore.
Yeah.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Right, so Beachton, James Buffett is there. Ronnie grows up in Beachton, gets a job at Margaritaville. He likes it, but the stress gets to him. He basically leaves on a significantly lighter terms than Gamble does, because I think early on, I think I had imagined it just being a lot of stress from working there, but I think over time I've mellowed out on that detail. But yeah, Ronnie leaves to join the ISPS as well, and in doing so, he meets Gamble. They grow close. They fall in love.
Going from one stressful job to an even more stressful job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because ISPS ends up being a little bit more stressful.
Yeah, the ISPS has a weird, kind of a weird place in the lore, because they're kind of... They're the mailmen. They are the mailmen. That is just a fact. They also have to deal with the fact that sometimes there's also sort of a complication they have where there's a dicey situation they have where they have better transportation technology than other people, and the sharing of that can be a little weird and dicey. I'm honestly not sure I fully worked out the details on that. I ever fully worked out the details, but the point is, there's dangerous stuff out there. Sometimes it's space pirates. Sometimes it's the Void. So like over the course of like both like the time leading up to the campaign and the campaign itself, they kind of have to like militarize. I honestly don't put as much thought into it as I should. I think he's probably put more thought into that aspect than I have. But
whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, the ISPS, mailmen sort of fighting the Void. There's probably some metaphor you could make there about like the necessity of communication in order to fight despair, Death Stranding, yada yada yada. But yeah, that's sort of the bulk of them. So let's get into more of the fun details of Ronnie and Gamble. Ronnie loves cooking. He's very chill. He's got good vibes. Like, I think the big thing about Ronnie and Gamble as characters in the campaign is they have a lot less internal conflict than the other characters did. They're like, Gamble's got like stuff going on, but he's not really like internally concerned about it. Ronnie's just chill. Ronnie can hang.
I'm just thinking about my own character. That's why I said like F.
Like death.
F me. I said F, but that death also. Yeah, yes, true.
F. So, Ronnie is chill. He loves cooking. He loves. He loves Gamble, of course, and I gotta admit, he's a little bit on the blander side. He does have like some hang-ups. He has like one very specific hang-up, which is he thinks Arla's kind of stupid. I don't know if we've talked about Arla yet.
Yeah. Patrick hasn't been on to talk about Arla yet. Yeah. Arla has been mentioned.
Yeah, Arla is a very silly character.
Yes.
And I think Ronnie tries to deflect his feelings about Arla by just being really nice about it. That doesn't always work.
Oh.
There is like I'm trying to remember stuff specifically with Ronnie more. There's like a specific scene that I'm really I planned on doing it. I think I just sort of sprung it up at the moment. It's Ronnie talks with Vortex, who at this point is dealing with Sparkle. I believe you've talked about Sparkle.
Yes.
And Ronnie's like, hey, do you have like self-loathing issues? Like there's a voice in your head telling you that you're a bad person and everything you're doing is wrong. And Vortex says, nope, nothing like that. Absolutely not. I'm fine.
Vortex does?
Yeah, I think that's how the scene went. Yeah, like Vortex just sort of like deflects it.
Oh yes, you're right. Yep.
Yeah,
sorry, it's been a while. Yep.
Yeah. Like, I have one particular scene I have in mind with Ronnie, because he is almost all the time, he's the normal one and the nice one.
Yeah.
And you gotta have one of those.
Sometimes you really need one of those in your life.
True.
Yeah.
So trying to think of more stuff with them. So Ronnie, I'll talk about the time skip stuff later. So I'll hop over to Gamble. Gamble, as I've implied, I put a bit more thought into. Gamble, like, in addition to, like, all his things, he's kind of like one of those guys who, in the early 2000s, who would record themselves, doing Matrix fights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got, like, he loves wearing, like, a trench coat and sunglasses. He's got a sword and 2 pistols. It's a very outdated mode of cool, which still means it's kind of cool in like certain ways.
Yeah.
And they both have like friends within the ISPS. I don't think I elaborated too much on them. There's like one guy that like Gamble like met at like a con. And then later found out was also working there. I think he was like a bug guy or a mantis guy. Ronnie
I will see if I can find my notes.
Yeah. Ronnie also has like some old coworkers who Emmy played for a little bit, like during some scenes.
Oh yeah, we also had some where we all played like as a coworker for Ronnie from the Margaritaville days.
Yeah. There's like a scene. There were some stuff that where like during the time skip, Ronnie spends the time skip at Margaritaville and Beachton in general.
Yeah. Well, 1 second. Gamble's friend was Ernesto.
Oh yeah.
He's a moth guy. Who makes AMV set to new metal.
That's right.
And Ronnie's friend is an owl woman named Abigail.
Yeah, I just remembered I think she like appeared on a game show one time. She didn't win, but she had a good time.
Yes.
Good for her.
that is what you gave me for the notes on her.
That's so funny.
She works in HR.
She works in HR.
That's the only other thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Some stuff about them specifically before the time skip.
Hey, for clarity, you're saying time skip. For clarification, you're talking about when everyone ended up on ISO for a few months?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah. I think it was mostly a time skip for Ronnie, but not the others.
Yeah, there's like Ronnie maybe... No, yeah, mostly just Ronnie. I think...
Yeah, Ronnie almost died.
I feel like I'm... Wait, how much time passed for the other characters now that I'm thinking about it?
It was a few months, but yeah, Ronnie was...
But they were doing things.
Yeah, Ronnie was like basically in hospital being taken care of by Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, because during like the climactic end of like, I guess you would call the first...
One.
Yeah, part one of the campaign. He gets stabbed by the sort of void demon taking the form of Gilly Nibs. Yep. Have we elaborated on that so far in this series on the Isoverse?
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah. We talked about... There's probably more to talk about with the Void. It's been a little bit also, but I think we mentioned there's like a fake Gilly.
Yeah, there's...
That the Void like poses as, especially early on.
Yeah.
It kind of like takes the form a little bit later also, but this is like the moment where we're like, oh my god, Gilly's evil. And then we find out, oh no, that's not actually Gilly.
The Void Doppelganger, the Demon Lord, ended up being the final boss of the campaign too.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And I remember who killed them.
Yeah. I think everyone technically killed them all together. They all got to do...
Oh.
Everyone got to do, like, a big, cool attack.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was kind of everyone.
But I know who got the killing blow.
Oh.
If you don't remember, I'll say it at the end.
Yeah, you should. I don't remember if it was who exactly it was. No. I just remember we were all doing it. I think Ronnie went first, but
No.
I don't... Or was it last? Never mind. We'll find out.
Ronnie got the killing blow.
That's
using
right.
the power of love.
Yeah, that's kind of also Ronnie's thing, especially after the time skip, is... Well, actually, it comes up before. He's got the power of love. There is probably something you could say about, like, how weird it would be for, like, two people who have, like, a really good relationship, but not necessarily... There's probably something you could say about the power of love if you were like, a certain type of critic, but, like, he's got the power of love. He loves Gamble so much. He loves his friends. His vibes are so good, they manifest in the form of, like, teleportation.
Mm-hmm. He can always go to Margaritaville or Gamble's side.
Yeah, the two places he most considers home.
Yeah, I should say, because I don't think this has been mentioned, in the second half of the campaign, I wrote a custom move for every character, and did not tell anyone really what it was until it came up.
I see, yeah. Let's see. So, Gamble, spent the time skip, basically on the run again from Lucky Nell. There's, like, a specific thing that happens when he ends up back there, where he basically just, like, he sees, like, he sees a golden gun in, like, a display case, and he just sort of, like, panics, smashes it open, and takes it, and in doing so, inherits the powers of the gold dragon, which up to this point have been sort of in Lucky Nell's possession. The first way this manifests for him is he runs and he jumps out a window, and I used, like, some flowery language for this, but in, like, the thing I wrote up to describe this, the sort of, like, text RP we used to describe this, like, between sessions. He basically momentarily grows wings and flies away.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's got the powers of the gold dragon. He has this cool golden gun in addition, but he mostly prefers to use his normal weapons.
His fucking Maul katana.
His Maul katana. Yeah. He loves Maul katanas. There's a thing in Gear where, like, a specific thing in Gear for the pair is, like, you can give them swords. And Ronnie's is, in the first half, like, just a really big letter opener. And Gamble's is his Maul katana. A thing about Gear and Fellowship is if it breaks, you just get it back again when you, like, recover. So, basically, every so often, he's gonna, like, lose his cool, kind of stupid katana, and when he gets a moment, he'll buy another one. That's sort of, like, part of his thing. Gamble goes into hiding. He, like, puts on, like, either a mummy or an Invisible Man costume, and like hides out in this like area that isn't super talked about. I think it's like it's a big Halloween town situation. He hides there. He adopts a cat that comes up every once in a while, but not much.
Yeah. Much to Gal's surprise.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I guess it should be mentioned. While all of this is occurring, Gamble has an unconscious Gal in tow.
Yeah. He's like, for a lot of this, he's just got like this unconscious Gal. He's very scared about what's gonna happen to her, so he just takes her with him. And eventually she comes to, and she sees this cat. Oh, I named them Michael. I named the cat Michael because there was this thing called, like, What's Michael? I think it was, like, a manga, and there was, like, a little OVA that was, like, a music video.
Yeah. What's Michael? What's Michael? I remember it. It kind of lives rent-free in my head.
Yeah, it's a good video. You should look it up. Yeah, it's a manga. It got like some little OVAs. There is, when she sees this orange tabby, she's like, "That's Garfield. What the fuck? Those aren't real. That's like a cartoon from a comic. Those aren't real."
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
She's like, wait,
she did not make the connection between cartoon cat and real cat.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, they don't look like that? Oh, no.
Yeah, and it should be noted, up to that point, she was basically an android cat girl.
Yeah. She just thought it was, like, an aesthetic. Like,
yes.
Like, the carbuncles aren't real, carbunclos, but there's pictures of them. I don't know why I drew from that one specifically, but, like, there's fictional monsters.
Okay.
Plenty of them.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Carbunclo is,
oh, okay.
Carbunclo's a specific one. Eevees are based on them. At least partially. So, anyways, what I was gonna say is, I lost my train of thought. Right. So yeah, that's sort of what Gamble's up to, during the time skip. I'll bring this up. Part of, like, the time skip stuff is everyone got a new playbook basically for free. So that does mean that my one playbook got turned into two playbooks. Ronnie became, it is a little bit circumventing the rules because the pair is, like, a powerful playbook, which means they can't take destinies.
Yeah, hey, just so, like, I will reveal the thing now.
Yeah?
That I've never told you. I never intended for you to do that, but you had done it, and the characters were so good, I just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, Weeball.
Yeah.
Alright. Well...
Yeah, what was your intent again?
That they would continue, that would just be, like, they would still be the pair, have one playbook.
Yeah.
But they would still have, like, whatever Dan decided
I guess
to
they would
port
get the
over from being the pair.
Right. I see. Well, in any case, I'll start with Ronnie. Ronnie became a renamed version of the Squire called the Cook. The Squire is a playbook that's basically being like... The Squire's like the little nobody guy who becomes important. He's your Frodo, your Bilbo, he's your Hobbit. Well, he's your Hobbit, but not in the sense of the halfling way.
Yeah, I was like, there is a halfling playbook, but that's something else.
They're the sort of like a smaller character who ends up becoming more important later. And eventually he gets his Destiny playbook, which I believe was the Wanderer or the Traveler. I can never remember which one it's called. But basically he gets like stuff related to like traveling. And event. Gamble took the Exile playbook because he's on the run and in hiding.
And he stole, in quotes...
he stole a magical gun. He stole the power of the dragons.
His, element is, gold and luck, kind of.
Yeah, a thing that the Exile gets is they get, here's a cool thing that you stole, and you can do all sorts of cool shit with it. Incidentally, there was, in the original Isoverse campaign, our friend of the show, Gigalithic, was a character in, the first couple sessions. They dropped, honestly, I feel like... I've talked with them about it. You don't need to worry about it.
Anodyne.
Yeah, Anodyne. They were an elf that, stole... a crystal that gave them, earth powers. Earth and plant powers.
Elemental stone of wood.
Yeah. Yeah, Gamble got gold, and eventually he gets his Destiny playbook, which I decided to make the Legend, which means you're you're someone super famous, a legendary hero that everyone knows.
He's a legend.
You get specific stuff about being famous. You're good at doing stuff with crowds. You can make an autograph, and that counts as a precious thing you can give to someone at any time. In retrospect, I probably could have done that. Well, I'm not sure how it would have worked in relationship, but I probably could have done some more stuff with that, but it is funny that he could do that.
Yeah.
He also gets a thing where everyone gets, basically because he's part of the party, he gets a move where everyone else also gets the basic sort of starting thing for the Legend, because they're all famous by association. And that's sort of their thing. What else should I elaborate upon?
Hey, to give you a break for a second?
Sure.
Hey, Morg?
Yeah.
Who else is in the ISPS?
I had some side characters in ISPS that ended up being more important than I expected. Two ogres that were friends with Trouble were in the ISPS. Rhythm and Blues. Rhythm's a raccoon ogre. Blues is a bear ogre. The two of them are kind of fun. They're also fun to roleplay because Rhythm's very energetic and a little hyperactive, and Blues is kind of they're kind of named after Blues for a reason. They're a bit chill, they're a bit depressed sometimes, but the two of them ended up being more important for the defense part of the ISPS when we were going through with the Void. They flew with the jet stream, which I'm not sure how much we went into that. I feel like it's been brought up because we were talking about how all their names were puns on Final Fantasy characters, but they were important with helping fighting the Void back and stuff. And yeah, they're it was unusual because a lot of ogres don't leave the planet, but they figured out a way off, and we're gonna be mailmen now.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Why fucking not?
They're always hiring.
Exactly. That was kind of the whole thing. It's like, oh, away off the planet and they're hiring? Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Is there... I guess I can go ahead and, like, move on to, like, let's see, what are some other good stuff to bring up? I think we can move on to, like, the sort of ending stuff.
So, I do want to talk about a particular scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blanking on the character's name. Morg, the ogre that drank the Kool-Aid and ended up being the decoy for Ska.
Oh, that's a big point. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, Oregon. So, hey, what happened with Ronnie and Oregon?
Ronnie killed a guy.
Yeah.
Ronnie fucking murdered a man.
This is also the result of murder was Ronnie activating that teleportation power for the first time.
Uh-huh. He was like, oh, I can just fucking do that, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, I will say this isn't the only time. I think it might be the one time in one of our campaigns where I've done this, but like, it's not the only time where I've played an RPG and had a character kill someone that felt weird, that felt like surprisingly tonally uncharacteristic because I misread the tone slightly.
Yeah, like
no, that was I feel like that was the correct tone.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie was mounted on like a little. I don't know how to.
He was on like a little
vehicle.
like scooter thing.
And just fucking stabbed this ogre with a giant knife.
Yeah, he had a kitchen knife and he did like a jousting stab with it. Yeah,
and it went really bad for Oregon. Luckily for Oregon, they were unfortunately immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Much to their later chagrin, because killing them also took away some of the things that made them like obey. So they were like, I'm immortal, but I hate this. And I want to die. But that wasn't
let
till
out
later.
some of the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. He Ronnie took a knife and drained out some of the Kool-Aid or Flavor Aid or whatever.
Yeah. What, like, Gamble's custom move was some sort of luck manipulation.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how he implemented it. Oh, wait, no. It was going to be luck manipulation. Instead, it became the gun let you... You got the Doom stat.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He got the Stoom stat. That's right.
Yeah, he got the Doom stat and could do some crazy things with that.
The Doom stat is something that normally belongs to the Harbinger, who is like this sort of semi-ominous wizard figure, less of like a guy who shoots lasers out of his hands, and more of like a Gandalf type of figure. So yeah, it involves like stuff dealing with fate and whatnot. I think that there's a later playbook called like The Angel that also explores like the more LOTR type of stuff with wizards. Yeah.
It has like power words and stuff.
Yeah. So Gamble or Ronnie. Maybe I'll save this for when we eventually do a Mouse Guard episode. I'll talk about the other time I had a normally pretty nice guy kill someone. I'll just... Actually, you know what? I'll elaborate on it very briefly, because it's not that much detail. It's just funny to think about, which is, in a Mouse Guard campaign, I had a character who, used a bow to, like, shoot some like, pirates that were on, like, a ship that was about to attack the ship they were on. And that did mean killing them, because you can't non-lethally shoot someone with an arrow. Or at least not without horribly injuring them.
Yeah, not very well.
Not very well. It's very hard to non-lethal with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to get back to Ronnie and Gamble, let's see. Yeah, Ronnie killed that guy. Ronnie... Let's see, is there anything that's coming to mind to either of you that's in, like, the campaign, like, the main campaign stuff before, like, the ending? Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Like, Ronnie and Gamble are, especially Ronnie, were, like, very, like, involved in, like, the sort of scenes where, like, Sparkle, sort of, like, became important, or, let me rephrase that. The point where Sparkle, was able to divorce themselves from just being a voice in Vortex's head and sort of like become an independent figure who can do horrible things that they think are helping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ronnie is just like there during that whole time. Sparkle keeps getting his name wrong, which I feel like might have been like a little bit of a dig at me, because I'm pretty sure I get names wrong all the time.
Sparkle was getting Ronnie's name wrong?
Yeah.
No, I would guess that was more because Ronnie was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more that than... It's like, who cares about you? You're just this nice whatever.
Yeah. You're the... You're the boring... You're the fucking straight man. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
The gay man who's a straight man, you know?
As it so often happens.
What
the fuck was it? Right, so Ronnie's there, like, trying to fight Vortex. He does a lot to like try to make sure Gilly Nibs doesn't die. While this is all going on, because Sparkle sees Gilly, and at this point the party has long since figured out, the version of Gilly that looks like an inky black mass isn't Gilly Nibs. But Sparkle does not care and tries to kill Gilly.
Yeah, Gilly still has the Blade of Darkest Night. Hey, I thought of something. Who's captain of the ship for the second half of the campaign?
Right. Gamble was the captain of the ship. Like, Gamble, like, did a lot of stuff, like, relaying orders and, like, trying to, like, command, these situations. Gamble sort of became, like, an honorary semi-leader figure. It was great. Let's see. Yeah, so I can go ahead and I think I'll talk about the ending. So everyone got to do their final moves. Ronnie lays the final blow, because the thing that can oppose, like, the, like, sort of overwhelming, encroaching horribleness that is the Void and everything it represents is hope and good vibes, and Ronnie has those in spades. So, yeah, he sort of, like, is instrumental to defeating the Void once and for all. Well, more or less once and for all, because the epilogue, I basically wrote like some short paragraphs, like 2 paragraphs about like what became of them, sort of like in the style of like one of the ending slides in a Fallout game, because one part of it is literally just lifted from a Fallout 2 ending. So Ronnie and Gamble go on to spend many, many years together. They spend several years as part of the ISPS doing their part to sort of deal with what remains of the Void and all the complications that come with that, along with some others, I believe including Little Guy?
Little Guy will be... If there is only one person left in the militarized arm of ISPS, it will be Little Guy.
Yeah. They spend many years sort of like dealing with all of these long-term issues related to the Void. They eventually marry. They return to ESO. And while Beachton is like doing okay, Las Vegas has had a lot of shit happen to it, because there's been many years of conflict. There were power struggles. Different people, all sorts of people were trying to do their own sort of thing to control the city. Some did, some didn't. It was a lot of conflict. And eventually, Gamble, like essentially being the dragon at this point, asserts authority and puts like a lot of effort into... The two of them spend a lot of time doing everything they can to make the city a better place, to deal with all of these problems, from corporate to criminal to political, and in time, they are able to succeed. Las Vegas is no longer a money hole. It is no longer a place of servitude. It's a place where you get to live. And eventually, like, a lot of this stuff dies down. Those who ever try to, like, do shit again are always offered a chance to dance with the dragon. And the two lived happily ever after. The end. Also, I never elaborated upon this. Gamble can lay eggs because he's a dragon, and he can make more kobolds if he ever so chose.
Oh.
It's just a detail that I thought would be funny that I never wanted to elaborate upon, because why would I?
That's funny.
Yeah, of course.
No, that's incredible.
Yeah, Gamble lays eggs. Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Oh, one last thing I just remembered. We never talked about. Just a very silly detail. Jimmy Buffett, of course, passes away in the 20 years between the first two campaigns, and then he becomes a Space Marine dreadnought, because even in death he still surfs.
He can't
Even
stop.
in death, he still surfs.
He can't stop.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's so funny.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think that's an episode.
Yeah. This rules.
Thank you for coming on, Dan.
Yeah, I'm glad
Dan.
to have come on. It was a fun time.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, anything you want to plug?
Let me think. So, I've talked about male stuff in a very broad sense. I'm going to shout out the one actual male postal worker I know, Argyle Funk.
Yeah.
I have been stealing Postman Valor this whole time.
Argyle's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shoutouts to Argyle.
Was Argyle Ethan?
Remind me.
Our big buff dragon friend from the first one or two sessions of Fellowship 1.
No, that wasn't Argyle. I think that was somebody else.
Okay. Argyle was there very briefly.
Yeah.
Argyle is on Pot of Greed.
Yeah.
Is also often streaming shit in the HKIP Discord, the Henry Kissinger Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or the Henry Kissinger is
Pokemon Go.
deceased.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Henry Kissinger died, so the server got renamed to Henry Kissinger is properly, genuinely. Let me try to pull this up because it's a very long name and Discord cuts it off if you try to look it up in the regular ways.
Yeah, I guess Ethan was Astro Ambulance then.
Yeah. Ethan was Astro Ambulance.
Okay.
Henry Kissinger is permanently, totally, genuinely deceased.
Yep, that's the name of the Discord.
That's the name of the Discord now for this podcast that ended in 2021.
Yeah.
Nice.
But listen.
Yeah.
It's fairly active. I was just saying Argyle's in that one a lot.
Yeah, it's an active Discord. It's not an active podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. It was part of the NoiseSpace.xyz network, which we're a part of.
Yeah.
True.
I'll shout out. Listen to that if you ever want to be reminded of 2016 to 2020, especially if in my personal political opinion, you want to be reminded of what my political enemies were up to at that time.
It's mostly just to listen to Garfield Eats updates.
Yeah, listen to.
Nice.
Yeah, listen to I also recommend listening. They did some fun stuff with Garfield Eats. There's I believe there were some.
There's also the Donald Trump 64.
Yeah, Nintendo. Big shout out to what was functionally the if the sort of final episode, one of the last episodes before the show. Before the show never updated again was Nintendo Donald 64. It was after Donald Trump had lost the 2020 election, the server just sort of got together to find and discuss all these weird, stupid things he was doing every 2 weeks. So listen to HKIP if you want to listen to people talk about them when they happened. Also, or just listen to Nintendo Donald 64, the sort of
the wrap up,
the sort of pseudo finale of HKIP, where they talk about all of it at once.
But where can we find you, Dan?
You can find me in a couple places. You can find me on. Well, you can mainly find me on Pot of Greed. It is a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We have been regularly updating for the last 6 years. We get an episode out nearly every week, barring breaks or the occasional flub where nothing happens. And we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! We've covered all of the first series, Duel Monster, all of the second series, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We are sort of in the last quarter of the second season, the third series, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, which it's card games on motorcycles. You know that one. You've heard of that one.
Even I've heard of that one.
You probably haven't heard of the ones after that. That's something I think about a lot as we continue ever onwards with this project. So you can listen to that. It's an incredible podcast. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for that. I.e., I wouldn't be podcasting nearly as much. Same with HKIP. Same with another podcast I'll just briefly mention, post Game of Thrones, which a lot of like HKIP was like made by people who were fans of that show and knew each other because they were fans of that show.
This show would not exist without PGOT, actually, like indirectly.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, shout outs to that. But anyways, let's see. I have some other shows, but they are on hiatus. They're an indefinite hiatus just because I've got other priorities in my life. I'll shout out, but you can listen to the Sonic Shuffle or the Sonic Hustle, as it was later renamed. It's a Sonic podcast. We did a lot of episodes. We talked about a lot of stuff. We'll probably talk about it again someday. I need to edit the last episode we recorded.
Dan is the main, because I plug that every week that I'm on this podcast.
Yeah.
Dan's like the main editor for Sonic Hustle, so I'm saluting.
You can listen to that. We talked about a lot of fun stuff. We'll probably talk about more fun stuff again someday. You can listen to Video Games, the Movie, the podcast, a podcast about video game movies I did with my friend Maxie. We covered a lot of good stuff. We covered a lot of bad stuff. A couple good things. I believe the last episode we recorded was on the Entei Pokemon movie, the third one. If we ever start up again, we'll do an episode on the 2007 Dead or Alive film. My biggest recommendations are anything with guests on them, because I feel, because a lot of the guests bring a lot of interesting stuff. Listen to the Ace Attorney episode. Listen to the Yakuza film episode. Those are my two biggest recommendations. Listen to the Doom episode. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, that's the bulk of it. There's other links to other stuff on biggerchallenge.card.co, my social medias. I have a Small Saga Let's Play that is going to come out of hiatus hopefully soon. There's my other links, my social medias. There's my Fur Affinity if you want to see my guys. And sometimes they might not be wearing pants. There's one I've got of Ronnie and Gamble where they're in swimsuits and you can see Gamble's fat ass, that because he's a kobold, he's got a fat ass. That's just how it works.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's everything. Which one of you would prefer to go next?
Izzy's got... Well, actually, I can do it, and then Izzy, you can just, like, plug everything else. Sorry, I don't usually think about the order of this. You can find me at Haunting the Morgue on Tumblr, Blue Sky. You can find me at Gengar on Coast. You can find me on that Sonic Hustle. That's kind of it, really. That's my only other podcast at the moment. It's this one and Sonic Hustle, which is fine because I have other things happening in my life, mostly Pokemon, but I don't have anything to plug unless you like to watch people play Pokemon on Pokemon Showdown, I guess. But I don't think anyone gives a fuck. You can... Yeah, actually, that's it for me. I was trying to... yeah, that's it.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Izzy. I'm going to plug our Discord like I always do.
Because that's where you find you.
Yes, that's where you can find me. I'm nice most of the time. Now, this is the part where I would normally say I have nothing to link to or anything, and that's no longer true. Because turns out, a side effect of me getting the good brain drugs from the therapist is apparently I gained the ability to draw.
Yay!
So I now
Like Macklemore.
I now have a fur affinity, so furaffinity.net/user/Isadora. You can find things I draw there.
I forgot you had this now. I'm sorry. Yay!
It's great. Your art's
That's why
really
I was like,
good,
you plugged
actually.
the
I'm
thing.
looking at it. It's good
Thank
stuff.
Yeah, is he participating in art fights? Right?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm gonna be on an episode of SCP Research Archives at some point.
Yes, we'll plug that when that happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for Morg to finally hear this. Because you definitely wanted to hear it, like, when
Months
I
ago.
recorded it.
Yeah, months ago. I wanted to hear
ago.
It's when I heard you were doing it at all. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, I also want everyone to know what freaking article the other Izzy picked for me.
I want to know. God damn it. Okay.
Yeah. You love keeping your secrets.
Sometimes. I'll just say that it is... If you like me on this podcast, then you'll probably like the unhinged energy on that one.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Morg, you handle our social media.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Sorry. I have not been a host on this podcast in a while. You can find this podcast at, check out this guy on Tumblr mostly, but it is also on, like, co-host and Blue Sky. You can message them. Maybe you'll get a response, but honestly, the Tumblr's your best bet. Because I like to also, reblog people's art there when I can.
Of all of the social medias, I think Tumblr is the least bad.
That's debatable, but I understand where you're coming from.
And that's saying something.
I understand where you're coming from. You can find this podcast in general on Noisepace, like Izzy was saying before. That's where you can find Sonic Hustle, HCode. Yeah, you can find all kinds of shit there, including this.
Yeah.
Noisepace.xyz. I always feel like I need to put on a voice for that, because I'm going to say the wrong word instead of Zed.
Yeah,
You're gonna say
I'm
Z.
not sure.
I'm
I'm not sure if I said it proper when I said it earlier or not.
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did, and that's great.
Yeah.
It means it's been drilled into your head.
Oh, it absolutely has.
You're gonna say Zed when you're, like, talking to someone. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's... I think we have to leave, because we have to go deliver this mail, before, we get in trouble.
Yeah, gotta make our route. Eat our quotas.
Our route. Yeah.
Not get shot.
Not get shot.
I certainly hope so. It is America.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.